Make a video about the spate of gel nail polish intolerance that's now in society. Salon quality gels were being in use for many years before the public started doing their own. And in that regulated setting with nail techs who were using salon quality products, like the polish line and the lamps are all compatible. It was very rare to find people with a gel allergy or a gel problem. Once the public started buying gels, myself included, and us being ignorant of what gels are, guilty as charged. I assumed it was just like regular polish that lasts longer. I didn't bother to do any research. Um, and then we started using these cheap dollar gels from like Amazon.com where they sell it for $3 a bottle and any random lamp. When we started doing our own gel polishes, then all of a sudden in society, there was this spike in people who are having intolerances to gels, myself included. I bought a shit ton of gels last summer. I thought, okay, let me try this, and I liked it. It stays shiny. Um, it doesn't chip. The cheap gels don't last like the salon quality ones, but I figured, hey, this is pretty good. And let me tell you, after a year, I was, because I wasn't going to, I kind of neglect myself. But I finally dealt with what was happening on my hands. And let me tell you, when I finally looked at it for real, my nails had completely fallen off. I was just covering it with gel over and over. They completely fell off. And the nail beds were full of splinter hemorrhages and really thick skin, like almost as if my body was trying to form a callus to protect itself, which then led to the nail plate falling off. So what I did was I cut all my nails off and worked on dealing with this. And I stopped all gel use and just began like first I soaked it with vinegar and I put on some antifungal treatments thinking there was a secondary nail fungus problem because I noticed some green areas. Like like I had these nails that were detached from the nail plate. So that's a great environment for fungus, dark, damp pocket, right? So I think I also had a secondary fungal thing going on. So I treated it as a fungal infection, but also like a contact dermatitis. I just needs a break from this chemical exposure. And then my nails recovered after a couple months. Like I started the process in May, and by fall, my nails had completely, not totally, but almost totally recovered. And I was just back to using non-gel things. Like I started gradually, like when it started getting a little better, I began putting like a clear hardener on it. And then I went to put some stickers on it, which don't have any gel products in them. And I tried to reuse the products, and I said to myself, because when I first got this issue, I could not tell if it was the products or my method of application, because I definitely was applying these products in a way that would make something like that happen. Like, my first hypothesis was it's not the products, it's a combination of me overfiling my nail plate plus not curing the gel, because at the time I was completely ignorant and I did not know how noxious gel is. Like, we're used to like regular polish where you could put it all over your skin and nothing happens other than it smells bad. And I assumed gel was the same. I did not know that acrylates are super irritating to the skin. I didn't know. So when I realized and did some research and educated myself that the acrylates in the formula require UV radiation to solidify, and if you don't do that and you leave it insufficiently cured, it can seep past the nail plate and then cause like a contact dermatitis, as if you had like bleach sitting on your skin for weeks. And then what do you think is going to happen? Like, say you put bleach on your skin, something else that can easily cause maceration of the skin, and you put a bandage on it and you pick it up. What do you think your skin's going to look like? And that's kind of like what my nail plates and nail beds were looking like. And I didn't know that the formulas in gel polish are that noxious to the skin. I assumed it was like regular polish where, it could be irritated if it's super wet, but if it's slightly, it's not going to be a big deal. Like you could put a slightly wet nail polish on and it's never going to cause a reaction for most people, right? Gel is the complete opposite. It's much more irritating to the skin. And that's why there's so many issues. So when I didn't know this and I was using it like regular nail polish just needs to be UV cured, I would do stuff like if the cheap gel came off my nail, because again, unlike the salon quality shit, I was not doing prep. I was making sure it's cured. So commonly they would just fall off, which would not happen with the salon quality gel. And what I would do then is I'd put another base coat of gel and I'd slap the decoration on and cure it so it was firm enough to hold it like a glue. So knowing that I was doing shit like that, and this happened to my hand, I thought to myself, if I use them the way they're supposed to be used, and I put each layer, make sure it's fully cured in the light, like do it like 90 seconds, and then another layer, make sure it's fully cured, and don't do that shit anymore. Plus, I stop overfiling my nail plate so it's porous. I might be able to tolerate these better. So after my nails healed, I did another experiment, and the first thing I did was I put several layers of non-gel and then a gel top coat, and that worked pretty well. I didn't get a reaction, but when I look back, I was starting to get a little bit of a reaction, but it wasn't that bad. So because I was able to tolerate that for a week or two and nothing major happened, then I went the full hog and I used on my naked nail a gel base coat that I cured, a gel polish that I cured, gel top coat that I cured. And let me tell you, after a week, my nails all fell off. This time, it only took 1 week. And I think that's because my nails were not fully healed. Like they were still in the process of reattaching. So the attachment wasn't secure and established, right? I mean, they had reattached, but it likely takes a while of your skin healing and regrowing to the nail plate to like be firm and withstand any insult. And so because that was not the case and I was still fresh out from healing, just doing that for 1 week made them literally all fall off again. It wasn't like the first time in the sense because the first time was on so prolonged for months, the skin had gotten really crusty and weird. Let me tell you, it looked so bad. Like the skin was like thick, yellow scabs from just the callus buildup protect my body. But this time that didn't happen. It wasn't that much, but the nail plate detached right away because most likely because the bond to the nail plate was already pretty weak because it was just reattached, right? That's when I realized at least the products I have and the lamp I have are never going to cure this enough that it doesn't cause contact dermatitis. And that's when I entertained another hypothesis. Most of these nail techs online are calling any issue with gel an allergy, but my instinct is that's not the case. I don't think I have an allergy to HEMA, because if I did, I'd have all this redness and irritation on my filling, and I don't. And another sign I don't have an allergy is my feet. My feet have a much thicker nail plate where if the gel is semi-cured, it's not going to cause a contact dermatitis. And I didn't get any reaction on my feet. So that tells me that the real diagnostic issue for me and probably other people is some combination of my nail plate is thinner and the gels I'm using are not cured enough. And that's why if the nail plate is thin, it's causing this contact dermatitis as if you had wet gel on your fucking nail bed for a week. When you take it off, you're not going to like what you see, right? But on my toes where my nail plates are thicker, even if the gel sucks, and isn't cured, it's not causing a problem because my nail plate on my toes are too thick, right? Because if I had an allergy, I would likely have problems on my toes, just like my hands, and I would have some reaction immediately or within a few hours, but that doesn't happen. If I touch my skin with the gel, nothing happens. I don't get itchy, I don't get nothing, but it's the prolonged exposure to these cheap gels that's causing what looks like a contact dermatitis. And that's where I came up with a new hypothesis. The reason there's such a high rate of these issues that look like contact dermatitis, not an allergy. There are some people with allergies where as soon as they put it on, within like minutes to an hour, their fingers are red, puffy, swollen, itchy. That's an allergy. That has the same qualities as an allergy since it happens immediately, doesn't require prolonged exposure, and there's signs of your immune system freaking out with redness, swelling, and itching. With me and a lot of other people, that's not what's happening. Like, there's no signs of my immune system freaking out just being exposed to it. But the prolonged exposure of a completed manicure with cheap products, when you take it off, your nail beds look like they were soaking in bleach for a week. And I think the cause of that is not so much an abnormal immune system that's reacting to this, but a normal immune system that's being coated and soaked in chemicals. Like, and the issue here is less that you have an allergy, but the products you're using that are unregulated do not cure like the salon quality shit. They just don't. So they're made by these cheap companies. They sell them for $1 on Shein or something, or Amazon, $2. And there's no lamp to cure them. There's no testing of anything. They just kind of make their own formula up. And when you use that product, if you have thin nail plates like me, you're going to get a contact dermatitis because they're not curing like the salon quality shit. You're buying some random lamp, it's like 45 watts, and then you're buying these cheap gels. It's like, how long does it cure? How, what's the percentage of solidity of the curing process? What are the ingredient lists? And it's like a big mystery. And they're just not formulated like the salon shit. And so they're never curing as much. No matter what you do, they're never curing as much as the regulated formulas, where the companies are a little higher quality, the products are a little more expensive, and they can tell you exactly what's in that, and they can tell you exactly how long it cures. They can tell you exactly how long it takes with their lamp, and they can tell you what percentage of um, what percent curing it does. Like, is it 80% cured? And those products are far less likely to cause a contact dermatitis, even if your nail plate is thin, simply because the manufacturer is formulating them correctly. And they understand, like, if it's less cured than this, a lot of people are going to have problems, depending on the genetic makeup of your nail plate, right? That's why my toes can handle the cheap one and my hands can't. So if you're the kind of person you have thick nail plates, you can use that cheap shit and you probably be okay. But if you're like me, you just have naturally thin nails, you can't. And that's where the cheap products are ruled out for you. But if you're the kind of person, if your fingernails are as thick as my toenails, you could probably use the cheap shit and like never have much of a problem, maybe a little bit, right? Like on my toes, there's like a little bit. It's tiny though. It's nothing like my hands, where after a week, all my nails are falling off. And if I feel the thickness of my nail plate, even not filing it super bendy, it's just thin, right? So I think that's the issue. But the better quality formulas that cure more like a filling in your mouth, where they're solid enough, it's not going to penetrate past your nail plate. A lot more people can use those with no issue. So what I'm speculating is, if I use the products that are regulated to cure right, the way you go to a dentist and they're using this like medical grade stuff that they know how to make it freaking hard enough that it's not going to cause any kind of problem seeping into your bloodstream, um, you're not going to have an issue. And so I think a lot of people with the gel allergy don't really have an allergy. They have a cheap shit problem. You're using cheap shit that is not curing like the salon quality shit, which is why it falls off, right? Like, even that difference, like, you go to a salon and get a gel manicure with the real products that are expensive and you pay the money, that's just not going to fall off. You're not going to like wash the dishes in it. But the cheap gels will do that. So that right away tells you there's a difference in formula, right? And I think that's the issue. So if you have a resilient nail plate like I do on my toes, you can use the cheap shit that's less cured and be okay. It's probably still not a good idea because some of it's being exposed to your skin for a long time, but it's not going to be the disaster of someone with a thin nail plate using that. And then they take off the gel and they're like, my nails fell off. What the fuck? And look at this. There's all bleeding and shit. It's like I was soaking my fingertips in bleach for a week. And that's why, because you kind of were. You use that cheap shit. They don't cure right. That's why it falls off all the time. And it's just garbage, right? So what I'm trying to say is, I see a lot of these people saying you can never use gel again. You also have to tell the doctor you have an acrylate allergy, and it's like I don't think I have an acrylate. I don't think I do. I think I have contact dermatitis from thin nail plates using cheap shit. And I think when I go to a dentist to get a filling, they're using medical grade shit, and I won't have a problem because it's not that my immune system can't tolerate acrylates. There's no issue with that. It's that I can't tolerate cheap shit because I have genetically thin nail plates. So this crap gel that doesn't cure right, no matter what you do, because the formula sucks ass. It makes my nails fall off because like it's that level of cured versus not cured. It's not cured enough that is seeping past my nail plates that are thin. And then it's like when I take it off, it's like my fingertips was soaking in bleach for a week. I'm not allergic to bleach. I have no allergy to bleach, but if I put my hand in a pile of bleach for a day, that wouldn't look so good when I take it out. I bet you the same thing would happen. My nails would fall off and shit. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of people. But then they go online to find information, and everyone's like, "You have an allergy. You have an allergy. You have an allergy." And it's like, I don't think I do, because of the sum of data. Like, if my nail plates are a little thicker, I don't have any issue. Like on my toes, I never have an issue with my filling. I have like one or two fillings, and I have no sign of any problem because that's medical grade and it's cured fully. And I suspect, although I'm not willing to do it, if I got the salon quality shit and did it like a nail tech, learned how to do it, I'd be fine. Because the issue isn't the acrylates. It's these shit quality things being sold on Shein and Amazon that just don't fucking cure. And you're using it in a lamp that doesn't cure. It feels hard enough to you, but it's really not. It's not even close to the salon quality one. And if you put that shit on a thin nail plate for a week, your nails are gonna fucking fall off, and your skin's gonna look all beat up and calloused because it's like you were soaking it in a chemical. Even if to your touch it feels dry enough. Um, yeah. So the reason I'm saying that is I don't see anyone proposing that and advising everyone who's ever had a bad reaction to cheap gels that they should never be able to use acrylates again. It's like I don't think so. I'm not willing to try this hypothesis yet because my nails are still fucked up from my second trial. I this is a regular polish. Um, but if it heals again, I'll try to buy some salon quality shit and see, or go to a nail tech and see if I have a problem because I don't think I will. I think the issue is this cheap fucking gel on Amazon and Shein that just does not cure, which is why it doesn't act the same. You go to a salon and get a gel, that's just not coming off, right? But then you get the cheap shit and you put it on, it's like, oh, it fell off, it wasn't cured, oh, and that's the issue. Those formulas are garbage and they just don't fucking cure. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you could do to make those cheap gels work like the real gels. I see a lot of people just reactively advising everybody you have an allergy, you can't get fillings, you can't do it. And it's like, I think for some people, a minority of people, but most of them are like me and they're having contact dermatitis. And the issue is the product, not the chemical.